5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into season 45, episode 8 of The Clingers Have Spoken. I'm Joel. That's Michael. We just watched episode 8 of season 45 of Survivor, and we're here to talk about it. Michael, pretty interesting episode. Blindside. How are you feeling?
Feeling good, man. You know, as you can tell from my Zoom background, if you're watching on YouTube, I was actually live for it. So it was pretty crazy scene there at Tribal Council. Didn't see it coming. Jake definitely didn't see it coming. And I'm sad because I was starting to come around on the whole Kellie experiment, and I was rooting for her, and things didn't go well. Reba just has Belo in shambles. They voted Belo out, but all the Belos turned on one of their own. And what's Belo do from here? I mean, I think we all know Reba's going to immediately start gunning for each other. But I don't know, man. Belo's in trouble. I don't see any of those people pulling it out at this point.
Belo is very down bad. It's not looking great for any of the Belo members. I can't see Bruce winning this season at all. I can't see Kendra winning this season at all. I can't really see Jake winning this season at all. And yeah, like Reba has this whole group. There's 4 of them and Emily, and there are 9 people. Wait, is that right? 9? Yeah, 9 people. And they have Couture on their side now. And it's interesting because Couture is actually playing like a large part in this game. Like she was the deciding vote that kicked Caleb out, and she has now flipped and is just ready to join Reba, and hopefully she can, maneuver her way further in the game, maybe. But the Reba 4, man, they're doing good.
Well, didn't Couture vote Jake tonight, though?
Probably. Yeah, but like I think that, if let's say for whatever possibility Austin does go home last week, this is a very different tribal. This is a completely different energy. This is a very different type of season that we're about to have. But since they did not make it through that vote, and that Caleb did not make it through that vote, basically all the hard strategy that was on that tribe was solely on Kellie's shoulders. And now that she's gone, it's kind of a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard when the person that everyone is connected to gets taken out of a group, and it's like, oh, there's a lot of friend groups out there where it's really one person or one couple, and they're sort of the social facilitators of the group. Not that none of us would hang out outside of those people, but if they're out, we're going to go from seeing each other every month, every other month. We're going to maybe hang out once a year. And so that's kind of the stage that Bruce, Kendra, and Jake are in now. Kendra her game is just sunk. Jake is to the point now where like, he's at least a savvy player, and I think the heat's going to be off him now for a while. He survived a vote that he was at risk, and now I think the heat's going to be off him for a little bit. Kendra is in GOAT territory, and Bruce is in GOAT territory if he makes it to the end. So neither of them have a great chance. It's Reba's game to lose. And we'll see if Emily Flippin can ride with the Rebas for a couple more votes, and then boom, we got Emily, we got Kendra, we got Jake navigating themselves to the end. That could be spicy.
Yeah, that would be fascinating because it's like Reba has all the power, and I can't. I mean, there's no way they go 4 to the final 4 with this 4. But I just don't know how they don't at least make it to like the final 6, like the 4 of them. You know, like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as much of like a flipper as people that play Survivor are. You know, like because somebody's gonna get antsy and want to make a move. Now that may be like a gender thing. Now there's like 6 girls and 3 guys. So maybe Drew's like, okay, well, I need to do something because I don't like how this is going to go. But he seemed weirdly okay with that tonight, which I thought was interesting.
Well, I think it's 5-4 now because it was 6-4. Now it's 5-4, girls to guys.
Oh yeah, because Kellie got okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I mean, that's not. I don't think that's really going to be a consideration moving forward. You know, on Reba though, it is Austin and Drew the guys, and then there's D and Reba. Wait, not Reba.
Julie.
D and Julie. Reba.
Yeah.
D and Julie. And Emily, she's with Reba, but she's with the guys.
Yeah.
I don't know who Katurah is with. So once again, like, let's say they did just vote out Jake, then vote out Kendra, then vote out Bruce. I mean, we don't know how that's going to go with the 6 of them. We don't know how that would break.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay. So I just think Katurah's position is so weird. Like she was on the bottom in her own tribe and then they merged. And now she's like, oh, I flipped. And now she's in the position that some people are in when they flip, when they're just on the bottom, but it's just like a better bottom of like a different tribe.
Yeah. And again, she wasn't on the right side of the vote tonight. She's just kind of a player, like since the merge, where I feel like she's been, I don't know, she hasn't been that, like I know her vote mattered last week. But the alternative for her was draw rocks. So it's not like that was really much of a decision for her.
An option. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most people don't want to draw rocks. They were making it seem last week like it was a really sensible thing to do. And, oh, why wouldn't she want to do this is why Jake was making it seem. But yeah, Katurah, she's just kind of like floating around out there. Like she's a wild card. She is the biggest wild card left. Everyone else, I think, is settled. I mean, I guess Kendra now is also a big wild card. So we'll see. Maybe if Kendra and Katurah can come back together or something like that. I don't know.
I want to talk a little bit about Kellie. Not really much she could have done. Like she said, she was just kind of put in a situation with Bruce and with Belo that was not great. And I will miss her a lot. I really enjoyed seeing her this season. She strikes me as someone who I could see coming back in like in returner season. And yeah, I'll miss her.
Are you going to slide in her DMs?
No, I won't. I actually think she's gay. So, yeah. Well. But anyway, I really appreciate her gameplay. I think she's very smart. I think she's logical. She's able to form connections. Hearing how Reba was talking about her was interesting. They were like, it's kind of weird how much power Kellie has, which was funny that they were saying that when it was clear that the 4 people in that conversation had by far the most power of anyone, which is, it's just like, that's part of the thing on Survivor. It's like, all right, like we have to have the power, but I'm never going to let anyone know that I have the power. So we just have to make sure that I am like telling everyone that this person has the most power, or like this person has the most power except for me, you know? Mm-hmm. But it was a tough situation. And I wanted better for her. And yeah.
I mean, I do think that she had a lot of power in that she seemed to be connecting to the Reba women and Emily more than Kendra was, even more than Keturah was, and Keturah was trying to vote with them. It just socially, Kellie seemed to be the most threatening Belo member out there.
She just kind of melted with whoever was out there. Whoever she was with, she just connected with them.
Yeah. And so that word of maybe there's going to be a women's thing, I think this was best case scenario for Drew and Austin to say, okay, Kellie is the social woman from the other side that's going to be bringing this together. We don't have a relationship with her, but Mama J and Dee do have a relationship with her, and Emily has a relationship with her. So we've got to get her out of here. We don't want to risk those getting any deeper. So I think that was a smart move by them to get rid of Kellie. And yeah, I do think Kellie, she just got in a bad spot tonight. I think she is 100% in her mind blaming Bruce for her loss.
Yeah. Dude, Bruce is on everyone's mind. Bruce has run this season in a way that he probably did not want to, but it's crazy how much like people have talked about him when he's clearly not winning at all. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he's like driving votes just because
he exists.
Because he's willing to say someone's name, so everyone's like, okay, that's fine. Or tonight, he's driving votes in a bad way because everyone wanted to vote him out. Yeah. And then he wins immunity, and all of a sudden it's like, well, we've got to get one of his allies out. And so I guess Bruce is only willing to play the idol for himself. I would think he was the type of player who would want to play that for a close ally like a Jake, you know? And the fact that he didn't play his idol for Jake tonight tells me like Bruce is just going to hang on to that thing until he thinks he's going home, which is probably next week. Like if he doesn't win immunity next week, I bet he plays his idol. But I thought tonight would have been the perfect opportunity to play an idol for Jake, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, but like, why would you? Honestly, like Bruce knows. Like Bruce is like, I'm on the block next time. I'm gonna keep this. Like him and Jake, they're allies, but they're not like. If he saves Jake this one time, what's to stop them from coming back next tribal council and just writing Jake's name down again?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not
writing his name down.
Yeah, that's not like a title shift of that's not a big move. It's a move that will save you for 2 days, and then you'll be gone 2 days later. Just a higher spot on the jury.
No, I agree with it as a like a gameplay strategy. I just thought Bruce was the kind of person who would do that. Who would say, you know, hey, I'm old school. You got to protect your own. I'm playing this for my guy. And he didn't do that tonight. But honestly, though, he kept saying to Kellie, you're my number one. You're my number one. If he had known Kellie was going home, there's a better chance he would have played it for her. But he thought Jake was going home. But also, he didn't vote. So we don't really know who he thought was going home. He could have thought, I don't know, Emily was going home or Couture was going home for all I know. I don't think they're really like telling Bruce what's up most of the time.
You know, I find something is interesting about this season where there's not like Jake said it earlier. He's like, I haven't heard anything, which means that it's me. And it's like, it is interesting because this season they're not like, there's not as much like communication. I feel like there's not as much just like over the top. We have to make sure that this person does this thing so that they don't do this thing. And I like that, to be honest. Like, I like not splitting the votes. Like, I like doing all of those kinds of things. But I just think it's interesting because there seems to be less big braining going on this season. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed the same kind of thing?
Well, yeah, because I think what players are realizing as they've watched the last 4 seasons is that when you're worried about so many different things, you're fumbling like the simple stuff of it. Like, look, we don't need to change all of our plans because someone has a shot in the dark. Like, it's 1 in 6. Even though they got burned by that on Caleb, it's like we'll just vote him out next time. I think tonight was genius. And it was a genius play because obviously Jake thought he was going home. So he's playing a shot in the dark. But Reba's like, okay, well, we're voting for Kellie. So we're splitting a vote, but the other group doesn't know we're doing it. We're cool with either side going home.
Yeah.
So like that type of stuff, it makes it, I don't know, a lot simpler, a lot like less complicated, because when things get complicated and there's more names being thrown out, people start acting crazy and flipping and are like, okay, well, I'm actually not going to do my part in this vote and I'm going to play a shot in the dark because I'm afraid I'm going home when I'm absolutely not. And we're seeing a lot less weird stuff like that happen this season.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. I'm glad that exists. I feel like we've had podcasts where I'm just like, why in the world did you think it was a good idea to split the votes on this person? Like, you're overthinking this vote, like all these things. And now they're just like, no, we're going to walk in. There's like the option that is in everybody's brains once the immunity challenge ends. And then maybe there's another one. And I like that. I appreciate that. Simple.
Well, and I think like just a 90-minute episode lends itself to like, okay, we've seen where everyone's head is at before the immunity challenge. And like, actually we have a good picture of that. And so after the immunity challenge, okay, that Bruce won. He was probably going to get voted out. So we mentally move on. It's probably going to be Jake. And then they throw Kellie into the mix. And so like, it was all very linear instead of just like, boom, 5-second scene of somebody saying this person's name, 5-second scene of somebody saying this person's name, 5-second scene of somebody saying this person's name. And you just don't know what's real and what's not. The editors have done a really good job of showing us like, okay, like this group of people talked about this person. And then this person was over here sharing this information over here. And then Drew got everybody over all of the Rebas together and said, what if we just voted Kellie out?
Yeah. Yeah. I love the 90-minute episodes. We said that all season. It's good. It's going to be back for next season. Thrilled about it. You know what? I'm not sure they're going to bring back for next season, but they brought back tonight, after a long hiatus, Survivor Auction. Michael,
they sure
how'd you feel?
I thought it was good. I like the not everyone has the same amount of money to start. You got to earn it. I like cool. that. I like that they said from the start, no advantages. That gets rid of some of the drama and just makes it like
a fun thing.
This is a more fun thing. And I like that there was the drama of like somebody's losing their vote if you don't handle this right. And of course it was Bruce. And it was Bruce because Bruce didn't try to acquire a lot of money in the first place.
Yeah.
Because Bruce put no effort towards going and getting a bunch of money, that ended up actually being the reason he lost his vote. And so like stuff like that, like just coming back, obviously it didn't ultimately matter for Bruce because he won immunity. But if he hadn't, he would have gone home and he wouldn't have even had a vote. And so like, I like that there was consequences beyond simply like eating or not eating. But I also love that it wasn't like we're giving away an immunity idol or a clue to an immunity idol. I love that there's not just immunity idols sitting around whenever someone needs one. Because in the 30s, if you needed an immunity idol, spend 3 hours digging, you'll find one.
Yeah.
That's what it turned into. Yeah. And so I really like that it's not like you could just, if you had $900, you could just buy an immunity idol or something like that. So I thought it was a really fun time. I'm glad there was still something disgusting. It wasn't all good food people would want. there's something about hungry people eating food and really wanting food that's good television. And I feel like Survivor got away from that for a while. So it was fun to see like when Emily sees what on her plate, like just her reaction to that was great television.
The fish eyes were so big. I literally thought they were like a pastry when he revealed them. Like those
Fish
things
eyes
were,
or cake.
yeah, like it's like he could have showed it to everybody and been like, this is either a cupcake, two cupcakes, or a fish eyes. And I feel like people still wouldn't have known. Glad Austin ate it a little bit at least. I wish that there was some bat soup though. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe after COVID, that's kind of out. They're kind of out on anything bat related in terms of
Survivor started COVID. You heard it here first.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I liked the no advantages. It was nice. It was like, okay, we're about to see like 4 minutes of fun television where starving people are getting to eat, and I like that. Yeah. Anything else on tonight's episode of Survivor?
I think we got a lot of Drew tonight, and it seems like Drew is kind of somehow managed to like put himself in a front runner position.
He has. He is one of the more unlikable strategic front runners I've seen in a long time.
I don't like just like dislike him. And there's people on this cast that I'm like less into than him, but he just seems like an unlikely winner to me. Not because he's a nerd, not because he's skinny, just like I don't think anyone's going to want to give him $1 million.
He has such little like charisma, you know? Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine anyone getting off that island except for Austin and being like, I really want to hang out with Drew more. You know, like Drew's my guy. I love Drew.
Yeah.
I just can't see that.
Yeah. Like with Austin, I can see like how those people would vote to give him $1 million. Like I can see that with Austin. I can see that with Julie.
I could see it with D.
Yeah. I guess I could see it with D. But there's not a lot of people out there where I'm like, they're going to get votes to win $1 million. Like there's not very many of those people left, in my opinion. I think Caleb was one of those people. He's gone. You know, I think Kellie was maybe one of those people. She's gone. So I don't really know what's going to happen. Like I don't know that I take Drew seriously, even though he's in the catbird seat right now. And like if there's a way Jake can get back into this, I could see Jake being good at Final Tribal and winning the game. But he's gonna have to like I don't know what the path is for Jake.
I don't either.
For Emily, I can see the path. The path is ride out Reba for a vote from here and then flip and then get to the end with like Jake and Kendra or something like that, or Jake and Katura. I think Emily had a great chance to win if that happened. And I'd love to see that.
I still think Emily's going to win. Totally.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, I think that's totally in play. We're seeing a lot of Emily, like the conversation between her and Drew tonight, where she was told him about the All Girls Alliance. We didn't need to see that. That conversation, like, didn't really need to be shown to us, other than the fact to say, like, Emily and Drew are tight and Emily and Drew are talking strategy and this women's alliance isn't going anywhere. That was really the only reason we need to see it. It's not really like we didn't need to see that tonight.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me, Emily's number one alliance dynamic throughout this whole game. Because the first half of the season, it was her and Caleb. And this guy that is like running things on the tribe. And they kind of have this like back channel like thing. And then she came over and now she's like really tight with Drew, who Drew's like the strategic person. And they have like a back channel thing. And it's working amazing for her. Like, because they think that Caleb made all the decisions and made all things happen. And they think that Drew is making all the decisions and making all things happen. But Drew can't do that unless he has Emily, which is why Emily is in perfect position for me.
Yeah. Yep. I think Emily's in a great spot too. She's in the majority alliance, but she's not like the power player in the majority alliance that's going to get targeted. And she's not like she's the middle of the majority alliance, which I think is right where you want to be.
And she holds value. Yeah. Like she's worth something to them more than a vote. Which is cool.
She's a swing vote within her alliance too.
Yeah.
If they do get it down to just her alliance, she could go either way.
Yeah.
Both sides will try to get her vote.
Yeah. Yeah. I like her position in the game. I like Julie's position in the game. Because everybody's trying to get D. And I like Austin's position in the game because he has two idols and he's in the best alliance. Like Austin
Does
is in
he have two idols or one idol?
Austin has two. Kellie just got voted out. So his amulet became like a full-on idol. And he has an idol from before.
Oh,
so he has two idols. Yeah.
Yet another man, those things are cursed. Honestly, what was Kellie thinking taking that?
Yeah. Yeah, because she was the swing vote.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Like when you're not in the majority of the people, especially, you got to pass.
Don't incentivize other people to vote you out. They're already going to have incentive to do that. Come on, Kellie. Well, I can't wait to hear on all the exit press this week, Kellie talking about how Bruce tanked her game. And that that Bruce kept telling everyone she was his number one, and that's why she got voted out tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on this episode of Survivor?
I don't think so.
Anything else you want to talk about? The Grizzlies are horrid.
Pass.
Dylan Brooks is like smart now in Houston.
He's still a dirty player, but pass.
Yeah, but he's not shooting as much, which I would have loved for him to do in Memphis. I don't really want to talk about the Titans. It's just kind of it is what it is at this point. You want to talk about Draymond?
Oh my gosh, he only got suspended for 5 games, dude.
Like literally, Draymond is insane, and I like you put a player in a headlock for no reason, no reason, and after the number of crotch shots that he's had throughout his career, and and he justifies it all. If you hear him on podcasts, he'll probably say, yeah, Rudy was grabbing at my guy. Well, I'm not supposed to protect my guy. It's like, nah, you don't have to put him in a headlock. You don't have to put anybody in a headlock. It's like human 101, you know?
No, Gobert was just trying to break up the fight that was happening.
Yeah.
That's all he was doing. And then Draymond always pretends like he's trying to be a peacemaker and he's actually escalating the situation.
Yeah.
That's his whole vibe. That's his whole vibe. And dude, did you see so Draymond is suspended for 5 games. Clay is being fined $25,000. which is like a really small fine for an NBA player. Jaden McDaniels is being fined for $25,000. And Rudy Gobert is being fined $25,000.
Yeah, I saw
Honestly, he should sue Draymond for that money. What are we doing here? Like, if Draymond doesn't jump in and make it worse, like, it's literally
no fight.
It's over. Gobert just broke the fight up. That's all that happened. That's ridiculous, man. Adam Silver should be ashamed of himself. The amount of homerism that the Warriors get, these guys have played dirty for years. And because of Steph Curry, they have been able to do whatever they want. And then Steve Kerr has the nerve when they're playing the Grizzlies to talk about guys, quote unquote, breaking the code. When he is the coach of the dirtiest team in the NBA. It's ridiculous. Old guys think they can get away with anything. The Warriors are on the back end. They all know it. They're in their feelings about it, especially Clay and Draymond. Steph, he's still one of the best players in the NBA. So he's not all up in his feelings about other guys being better than him because they're not. But Clay is so in his feelings about being washed. Anytime he goes up against a decent two guard like Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, anybody, he is so in his feelings about being a washed old dude that is getting carried by Steph that he like acts an absolute fool. And Draymond, 7 out of the... So did you see Gobert's quote saying Draymond, every time Steph isn't playing, Draymond tries to get ejected? He said, whenever Steph isn't playing, Draymond just tries to get ejected because he knows he's not going to look good out there. Because Steph is the only guy that makes it look good. That's what he said in the post-game presser. And 7 out of the last 11 times Draymond has gotten ejected, Steph Curry has not played in that game.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, nobody likes Rudy Gobert, but that's funny. Like, it's like if anybody could get in a fight with Draymond and it'd be funny for me, it would be Rudy Gobert.
Just the amount of like coattail riding that Draymond and Clay have done on Steph this whole time, and are like, at least they used to be like really good players, and now they're not. And so it just looks bad for them. Like, they just look really bad out here, like trying to act tough. Like not this game, but the time before when they played the Timberwolves, Draymond was talking all sorts of smack to Anthony Edwards. It's like, dude, y'all are not on the same level, Draymond. Like, I hate to break it to you, Anthony Edwards is a better basketball player right now than you've ever been in your whole life. Yeah. And so I know that hurts to hear, but you're past your prime, man. You just need to like swallow your pride and retire, honestly.
Just like make a lot of money and shut up about it. Like, I'm so tired of seeing Draymond Green, man. Not because like I don't think he's been a good basketball player. He's been a good system fit. He has his own unique style. But like, dude, shut up. Like I just don't. He's just so annoying, and I can't watch him anymore. Man.
I mean, dude, if Draymond cost them a finals too. Like in 2016, he cost them the finals, and so I'm not taking that away from LeBron. I'm just saying like, Draymond, you have always screwed your team up, man. But stop acting like you are like the best that ever did.
The thing that frustrates me about that though is that like if you ask Draymond about that, he wouldn't tell you that he messed it up. He would say, "It's the league, man. It's these guys like they see Draymond did something, so they're going to penalize me more for it." And I'm like, Draymond, you're insane, man. you know why they're penalizing you so much? Because you're the most insane person in the league right now, but not in like a good, fun way, like in like annoying way.
Yeah, and he had already like kicked 2 dudes in the nuts like in the 3 weeks of playoffs before that finals game already. It's like, dude, this is not like a Draymond. This is you. This is who you are. This isn't the refs coming at you for your reputation. Do you know why your reputation is what it is? Because you do these things.
It's because the person that commits these things is you, you know? Like it's you know, sometimes in life we have to take accountability for our actions. And if you complain about the world so much and it's always the same thing, maybe it's you, you know? Like maybe you thought. Yeah, but maybe he should just go to therapy. I don't know if he does or not, but I think he could benefit from
why do you need therapy when you have your own podcast? When
those are not the same things.
When millions of people will tune in to hear you say, "Oh man, that was crazy, man. I didn't know about that. These young guys, man, they don't know about me. They don't know about us. They don't have what it takes to win." I mean, who needs therapy when you have your own podcast?
I do. I mean, we're doing this podcast right now, and I'm very much looking forward to my therapy session with Kellie tomorrow. So
you might need therapy more if you podcast. You know,
maybe so. Yeah, because with a podcast, you know, if I said something crazy, you'd be like, yeah, and then this happened, and then it's like, you know, if you go to like, you know, a therapist, you say that's something crazy, it's like, oh, tell me more about that. Why do you feel this way? And it's digging more into like what happened, why it happened, and what we can do about it. When podcasting is just like what happened 50 million times and then fortifying your place in the right place. I don't know.
Podcasting is just shouting into the void. This is all meaningless.
But
meaningless.
You know, I've had a few friends walk up to me in public and be like, "Joel, like I started watching Survivor and I'm loving the podcast and it feels like I'm there talking with you. And you know who you are if you're listening to this right now." And I just want to say,
even going to give a shout out by name?
We can if you want. Shout out Kendall. We very much appreciate everyone that is listening to this podcast. If you shout out Chase Whiting. Shout out to all of you. If you're listening,
shout out
to this,
Devin Clark, who I talked on the phone to today.
Shout out Devin. You know, if you're listening to this, like text me. You know, like that means the world to me that you would join us on this ride. I hope it is wonderful for you. It's great for me. I think it's great for Michael. Yeah. Anything you'd like to say to our listeners, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to our podcast and we don't know you in real life, slide in those DMs.
Let's fix that.
Let's do it. We'll do a live show or something. Let's get together. Let's get the people going.
That would be awesome.
You know, I want to know who you are if I don't know you. So, you know, you're not the reason we make the podcast. We don't make this really for the listeners. Like it's more for ourselves. But
yeah,
I'm glad that some sickos out there can find some joy in our boring conversation about Survivor.
Yeah. Well, this has been The Clingers Have Spoken. We just watched episode 8 of season 45 of Survivor. And we will meet back next week on Thanksgiving week for another episode of Survivor. And we will see what happens. I'm Joel. We might be live in person recording. Well, maybe. Next maybe. Wednesday. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, I'm Joel. That's Michael. The Clingers Have Spoken. We'll see you next week. Peace out, y'all. Don't quit. Jeff Probst won't snuff your torch anymore.